All right, good morning. We are going to do some notes more on indicator 5. Today we are actually going to focus on slope-intercept form. So I actually am providing you with all three forms of equations right now. And I want you guys to copy these down. If you need to hit pause, hit pause. So our slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. That's probably the one that you're the most familiar with from middle school. And we will also be using slope or point slope form, which is there below. The y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And then our standard form, ax plus by equals c. We will actually be working with all of these forms in indicator 5, but we're going to spend a couple days on slope-intercept form because it's the most common, because it's the easiest to graph in. So we are going to, today, I'm actually going to give you guys some equations, and we are going to change them to slope-intercept form. So they might look like the other forms, but then we'll eventually use those concepts from indicator 3 to get y by itself. Because in slope-intercept form, it says y equals, so we will just be solving our equations for y. So for our first example, these are when we are going to take an equation that is in point slope form, and we are going to convert it to slope intercept. So we got to get the y by itself. So an example of something in point slope form might look like this. Y minus 4 equals negative 3 times x plus 2. So our goal is to make it look, we want it to look like this. So we want to start out with y equals, and we want no parentheses. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to distribute there. So the y minus 4 just comes right down. But then when we distribute, negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Then negative 3 times a positive 2 gives me a negative 6. So then for the final step, we want it to say y equals. So in order to do that, we need to move this negative 4 over to the other side. So we're going to add 4 to both sides. And then simplify. We get y equals the negative 3x comes down. Then the negative 6 plus 4 becomes a minus 2 because that's negative 2. So then our y is by itself, and we have our x term first and our constant term second, and so there we have it. That is slope-intercept form. So the first thing you're going to do is distribute. And then the second thing that you do is you are going to add or subtract to get y by itself. So we distribute to get rid of the parentheses, then we add or subtract the number over, and then it becomes slope-intercept form. So let's try another one. This time let's do a fraction. All right, so we have y plus 5 equals 3/4 times x plus 8. So this is actually in point slope form. So our first step, we're going to bring our y plus 5 down. We're going to distribute 3/4. So 3/4 times x is 3/4 x. Now, when you multiply a fraction to a whole number, you multiply the top number of the fraction and then divide the bottom number. So when we take 3/4 times 8, you are actually going to take 8 times 3 first, which is 24. 24 divided by 4 gives us 6. So I'm going to write that off to the side, because 8 is really 8 over 1. So that's really 24 divided by 4, which is 6. So that's where that comes from. That's just a little rule. Then we need to subtract our 5 to get the y by itself. So we can say y equals, bring down the 3/4 x because it's not a like term, -6 or +6 minus 5 gives me a +1. So we write +1. And there's our slope-intercept form. Now, later on, we will be graphing, but in indicator 5, we completely focus on writing equations. We will actually be graphing in indicator 7. So we distribute and then we add or subtract over. Now, sometimes you will actually have to put it into point slope form. So let's talk about that for just a second. So if you are given a point and a slope, I better learn how to spell. Slope. Then we are going to go with point slope form. And what we're going to do is our slope is going to go in for our m. And then our point, we are going to put the x coordinate in for x1, the y coordinate in for y1. Then once we plug it in, then we get it into slope-intercept form just like we did on the last example. So if I tell you you have a point that is going through 6, 4, and the slope is 1/2, we are going to put this into point slope form. So just a reminder that your x coordinate is 6, the y coordinate is 4. So if we want to plug this in, we start out with y minus, now the y coordinate is 4. Then we say equals, our slope is 1/2, and then x minus the x coordinate here is 6. So this is point slope. Now we want our answer in slope-intercept, so we're going to distribute. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x. 1/2 times -6. Half of -6 would be -3. Half of 6 is 3. And then our last step, we would add our 4. And I'm going to have to write this off to the side because I'm running out of space, or maybe I can fit it. Y equals 1/2 x. -3 plus 4 gives us a +1. You'll say, not the best space, but we got it. So we plug in the numbers for the x and the y coordinate, and then the slope goes in for m. And then once we have our equation set up, we just do what we did before. We distribute and then add that number over. So this also works with negative coordinates, so I want to make sure that we do one like that. So we're going to go through -5, -3, and our slope this time is going to be -2. All right, so point slope is y minus y1, or our y coordinate, equals our slope, and then x minus the x coordinate. So here, we are going to do y minus, now our y coordinate of the point is -3. Then our slope is -2. X minus, the x coordinate is -5, so then we bring down minus -5. So I do want you guys to know, if you have a double negative, that really means y plus 3 equals -2. Now this is really x plus 5. So in point slope form, when you are subtracting a negative coordinate, you can change that to a positive. So then to simplify this, to get it into point or slope-intercept form, we're going to distribute, and we get -2x minus 10. And then we subtract our 3. And so we get y equals -2x, and then a -10 and a -3 become -13. Okay, we have one more type for our assignment today, And if you need more examples, feel free to look at the class page. I will be sharing what I write in class as well. So the next type, I'm giving you an equation in standard form, and your answer is going to be in slope-intercept. So all we're doing is we're just changing what it looks like because slope-intercept is the most common to graph. So an example of a standard form equation would be like this. All right, now slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b. So our ultimate job is to get the y by itself. So let's just go back to what we did in indicator 3. We like the variable on the left we're solving for. So we want 6y by itself. So to move the 5x to the other side, we're going to subtract it. Now, in indicator 3, order didn't matter. But in indicator 5, it does. Which term is written first in slope-intercept form? Is it mx or is it the b? And if we look over here, we can see the x term is written first. So the x term is negative 5x.
I need all the teachers to please report to the cafeteria immediately, please.
Okay, so we have negative 5x plus 30. And after this example is over, I am going to have to go because Dr. J needs us in the cafeteria. But our last step is to divide by 6, and so we would get y equals negative 5 6x. 30 divided by 6 gives us a plus 5. All right, so if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. Have a great day.